They blue lighted me across the city.
Yeah.
I don't know where, I can't remember much of it. And that's why I was induced into a coma. A few months after it, I thought I only had 5 years to live.
Wow.
Little did I know, but there's people who run for their lives. And then all of a sudden, the attacker come through the gates. Well, firstly, and anyone that knows and understands boxing, is that it's sort of a Guinness Book of Records moment. Having sort of been in the country for maybe around about 18 months. And he said, Tony, you're boxing for England.
Wow.
Next week against USA.
So, Tony, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much for coming. Before we get started, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Hikaya Creative Studios for giving us this beautiful podcast setup. Tony, talking about conversations with coaches, we did some research with the team, and frankly, your story stands out immediately. From Olympic ringside boxing to life and death moments in and out of the military, and you sort of lived a life shaping champions till this day, as well as now communities.
Yeah.
So really excited for this conversation today. So thank you again for coming. If I've got it right, you are the technical development manager and national boxing coach for Bahrain.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And but your journey stretches far deeper. So you're actually part of Team GB Boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were in the British Army for a while.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And now you're over in Bahrain doing grassroots boxing programs for Bahrain and the wider region.
Yeah. I mean, covering everything boxing.
Excellent. Yeah. Fantastic. Right. So super excited for this chat today. So let's start with the Olympic stage. Bahrain stepped into the Olympic stage in boxing for the first time, Tokyo 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were a driving force behind that moment. So what did that mean to you, not just professionally, but personally, to see the Bahraini flag raised and to know that you helped to make that happen?
Well, firstly, and anyone that knows and understands boxing, is that it was sort of a Guinness Book of Records moment. Having sort of been in the country for maybe around about 18 months to set up a federation and to get such a small country as Bahrain to the Olympic Games was just phenomenal.
Of course.
I mean, I must admit, when I took the decision to leave GB boxing, I honestly thought 100% I've given up my chance of attending the Olympic Games, as a coach. I mean, I did try as a boxer back in 2004, but only Amir Khan was one of the ones that fortunate to get through.
Yeah.
But like I said, to have Bahrain there, it was a personal goal of mine, and such a huge achievement.
Yeah, amazing. So it really was a win-win, and must have been such a proud moment walking in yourself and with the boxers being there first time. So, and that's what you were brought over to Bahrain to do. Was that part of always the agenda, or is it in general boxing?
Well, initially it was kind of just to help someone out and get back training, and then sort of, can you set boxing up? And it just went from sort of right up to the sky in sort of such a short space of time.
Amazing. So, Tony, as Bahrain's technical development manager and the national boxing team coach, give us some insight. What's day to day in Tony's life?
Well, obviously, it's an ongoing thing. In boxing, especially when it comes to me, I don't have like a set time.
Yeah.
9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever it is. It's 24/7 for me, because one, you're passionate, and you're boxing internationally, and you're dealing with many different things. So everyone's in different time zones. So sometimes you have to reply, and sometimes I find myself working until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
But overall, it's just to set the system up in Bahrain. Having like you say, you mentioned the Olympics. There is obviously looking at the top level in terms of Olympic boxing, products, right to the grassroots.
Sure.
So you're trying to do it from both ends, So anyone that remember when we first got here, we were looking at, our grassroots elements, but as well as the Olympic hopefuls.
Yeah, yeah.
So I used to look, still look after both elements, and also the coaches, the officials, the meetings with the federation, the Olympic Committee, the General Sports Authority, and anyone else that sort of need to speak to.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I know from a little bit of fitness boxing from my own times. I mean, it's sparring late at night and you're running almost early morning. It's pretty non-stop.
Yeah.
I
mean, just as a general rule of thumb, especially the back end of last year and the earlier months this year, is that we're up at 5 a.m. Get up. We train the guys at 6 a.m. before that sun gets up.
Yeah, it's so hot, isn't it?
Yeah,
here
exactly.
As well? Yeah.
And then they go back rest, and then there's meetings in between and things like that for myself, and then it's back in the gym later on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens in between and afterwards is sort of anyone's guess.
Sure. And I mean, it's what, 40 odd degrees, 50 degrees here in the summer. I mean, how was that for you? How long have you been here now?
It's actually 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
5 months.
Have
and
you acclimatized?
30 days.
On the dot.
Yeah. and probably 15 hours. Yeah, but no, it's I'm acclimatized. Obviously, I come from the northeast of England. It's called Newcastle, where quite a lot of Bahrainis go and sort of study.
Yeah.
So it's known to be pretty cold there.
Yeah.
So I've definitely acclimatized, because when I go back home, I'm absolutely freezing.
Sure, yeah.
So, but I love the sun.
Yeah. If you're anything like me, I mean, winter here and 15 degrees, I'm already thinking, God, it's pretty cold.
Yeah,
Get a jacket,
exactly.
get a jumper.
Need a jacket for the evening, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Bahrain boxing, also MMA out here under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Khalid. Big part of the sport in Bahrain.
Yeah.
How are you both preparing then for the next generation of athletes? And I assume this is going to be LA 2028, the Olympic Games.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got to look at, you still chip away at the grassroots element. That's why when I used to watch these kids in the gyms, they need to aspire to have something to actually train for.
Yeah.
And that's why we stage these sort of grassroots competitions. It was only last year when we had our first ever national championships, because it does take a few years to grow the sport.
Yeah.
Get it round there, deliver the education system where you're training coaches and qualifying them, that alongside officials, refereeing, judges.
Sure.
So
many elements.
So there's a big picture there. It just doesn't happen overnight. And obviously those national championships that we deliver were very successful. And those boxers that took part in it will go down in the history books for Bahrain. And you were there yourself, and you would have seen the setup, and it was fantastic, for the kids. So you're looking at that element there to grow the grassroots, but also you're looking at the more experienced fighters, the more experienced boxers that can have that aptitude in order to qualify for the Olympics, because
Of course,
qualifying nowadays is so tough. It's probably
Yeah.
even tougher than ascertaining a medal.
Sure, really? Okay. Wow,
And some weights, it was just a shame that we were just one bout off qualifying for Paris.
That's a shame,
but
yeah,
that's it comes with the territory and what have you. So yeah, we're just working on plans, to look at who we can, who's got the aptitude to go for Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And go through this training program. As you mentioned, earlier on about reaching Tokyo. There was a lot of training camps and competitions and preparation that went into getting there. It just doesn't happen. There was a qualification process. So yeah, that's what you have to sort of go through. So
Absolutely.
we look at that, and I'm sure MMA obviously won't be in the Olympic Games, but they'll be actually participating this year in October at the Asian Youth Games.
Okay,
for the first time ever in a major tournament.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic to see for MMA. But all combat sports, there'll be a good mix of combat sports taking place this year in the Asian Youth Games. So I think the future is bright for Bahrain, and the fact that they're showcasing many different sports is phenomenal for the country.
Because I mean, the Brave Combat Federation, I mean that was His Highness Sheikh Khalid's project, right? I mean, and that's one of now, I think it's the fastest growing mixed martial arts competitions in the world, if I'm I think I'm correct.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly so. And
yeah,
that
yeah.
was just,
Incredible.
it hasn't been going for that many years,
Mm.
but just
It's-
look at its it's projectile and how far it's went in such a short space of time.
Absolutely. So I've actually got a picture here of you. So this is His Majesty the King and His Highness Sheikh Khalid. I believe this is the Royal Guard as well. Is that right? Can you tell us a bit about this group?
Yeah, so His Highness Sheikh Khalid, we came up with a sort of project where we would, have a charity event here in the Kingdom of Bahrain, where we'd invite, teams from the British Army over, where we represent the Royal Guard.
Yeah,
because this is where we train. We have boxers who are soldiers, full-time soldiers as well. And that went on. It developed even more so because with my links with the British Army, we then forged, this fixture where we would go across and box the best boxers of the British Army team. A team that I used to manage and look after maybe 13, 14 years ago now.
Amazing.
And we would then box them in the infantry training centre where a lot of recruits would attend and see. So we've done two of them already. The first one we got beat. The second one we beat them, which was not on the plan really.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's another story.
Incredible.
But to after the first one, we were kindly invited to meet His Majesty, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was amazing. I mean, His Majesty said some things to me that will stay with me forever. And not only that, it was an option we could introduce the boxers, and we spent about 20 minutes with him, and which was amazing. We got one boxer to stand up and tell his story, from his journey from the National Sports Day to where he was now as a multi-medalist, and being sort of greeting His Majesty.
With the King.
So it was just those moments will stay for those boxers and coaches for life.
Yeah. It's such a privileged moment and a unique opportunity, I guess, really, to be able to be in part of the development of boxing at this stage, and be amongst the rules of the country.
And I must stress, this, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa's unwavering support has been phenomenal. I mean, His Highness has attended both of those, and sat there ringside watching, and what an inspiration that gives to the boxers, especially they walk past them just before he goes into the ring, and you can see the look on the boxers' faces, and I mean, as a coach, that stays with me as well,
Of course,
it's phenomenal. So meeting His Majesty was unbelievable.
Big moment. Yeah, absolutely big moment. Before we move on, just LA 2028. I mean, that was actually quite lucky to even have boxing on the roster. Is that correct? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, if you read the media, if you follow the media and all that. I mean, me personally, having been a boxer, I went through the Olympic cycles, and then having been a coach, and then obviously as my capacity as technical development manager, going to different congresses, seeing the politics at that level. I mean, I maybe could class myself as a victim back in the day, as a boxer during them, but to see them, in a sort of federation capacity, it's kind of crazy. But I always believed that boxing would still be in the Olympics. There's a lot of if you follow the narratives that it's going to be pushed out. Yeah, it wasn't on the program initially, but I believed it was always going to be. Especially being held in the US, and with the new International Federation World Boxing, I just think I don't believe they could get rid of it. And there's been some changes. I
was just going to say, was it to tighten up a few things?
There's some changes. With the old International Federation. I won't go too much into depth, but with the politics and some people call it corruption and what have you.
Sure.
But now the new International Federation has the provisional recognition by the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. Boxing is firmly on the program. I've seen the program already for where we have 7 men's weights and 7 women's weights, so you've got that gender equality.
Excellent.
in order to qualify for the Olympics
Mm.
will be, as I said before, is so hard.
Yeah,
That's
it's tough,
why
yeah.
the investment, the training, the plan,
Yeah.
everything, your mesocycles, your microcycles, everything has to be, as per, to ensure that that athlete,
It's
him or her, are in the right physical, mental, position they can be prior to competing for each and every bout they
for
go
sure,
through
yeah.
qualification.
I mean, boxing, it's so much more than just physical. I mean, obviously mental, getting in the ring to
Yeah,
get punched in the face,
yeah,
carry
yeah.
on, defend yourself.
As,
It's a
yeah,
different game.
as I say to most people, this isn't table tennis,
Yeah.
and
Don't
that's
play
no
boxing.
disrespect to table tennis, because I know they go through mental
Yeah, yeah.
preparation, what have you, but the physicality, the ability to get up in the morning and go and run,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're not feeling 100%, when
Yeah.
your body's tired, that mental resilience, and so much more that goes into boxing.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's not table tennis, and
Yeah.
I say there's a grassroots level and right at the top level.
For sure. Yeah. You don't play boxing by no means. I mean,
No, you don't
it's,
play
you
boxing.
don't play
That's it.
boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
So done some research. We see you've coached, mentored, or sparred with some elite names: David Hay, Amir Khan, Anthony Joshua. What have these moments sort of teach you, crossing paths with guys like this? Not just about boxing, but potential, mindset. I mean, names we're familiar with who've gone a long way in boxing.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because you got them in order as well.
Is that right? Yeah.
Because it's funny, you see, like in boxing.
Mhm.
For me as a boxer, I thought I overachieved. Some people say you didn't, but I always dreamt to represent my country.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, like dreamt.
Mm.
There's so many boxers. I mean, as a young boxer, I was 13, 14. I became Northeast schoolboy champion.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't at my first attempt, but at my second attempt I did. And then as Northeast schoolboy champion, you would move down and take on the winners of Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And you would have this guy that people will know his name in a moment. But I first saw my fellow Asian boxer. He had tassels on his boots, and I think his dad had a big Betamax handheld camera. And you're talking, this is in the late 80s.
Yeah.
In a working men's social club in Anothony, and it was none other than Prince Nazim.
Really?
Nazim Hamid. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was the next weight above me or the one below me. And you're talking 45 kilos, 48 kilos at the time. And but that was my stop gap. I would never go any further.
Sure.
And then it was only till later on, when you become a little bit more mature and you have a break from the sport, you come back into it to actually represent your country is such an honor.
Yeah.
So
of course, yeah.
I got an opportunity just by chance, and that was being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And this is when David Hay comes into it. So I was supposed to box.
Excellent.
And my coach phoned me up and said, the guys are pulled out, but England are up in the region because you're fit and ready. Let's go. They have to sparring partners.
Yeah.
So I went there. I got teamed up with David Hay.
So you were sparring with David Hay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was kind of, I understood who David Hay was because he was fresh off coming back from the World Championships. He'd got a world silver medal. He was beat. He put the Cuban down, but then the Cuban beat him on points.
Sure.
So he was, a bit of a celeb as well as an amateur boxer. And luckily for me, the light heavy was out. He was ill at the time, the number one. So I got brought in over a weekend. It was training with him, doing some partner work.
Yeah.
And I built a bit of a rapport with him, and he's such a brash character, David Hay.
Yeah.
And England asked me, could I come back the next day? So I came back. And this is where we did some open sparring.
Yeah.
And open sparring's the next best thing that you get to a competition.
Sure, yeah.
Well, David Hay's in there, and he's punching God knows what out of this guy in there. And this guy was a big name in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And my adrenaline's obviously going into overdrive. But I was pretty good with my feet.
Watching him, yeah.
And I'm next in.
Yeah.
So, I did okay. I did okay.
Yeah.
I had fast feet, and I was landing a few shots on him. if the truth be known, maybe David Hay just took it easy on me.
Sure,
You know, maybe, yeah. But yeah, then they asked me if I could come back the next day.
Yeah.
And then they just said to me, look, just keep yourself right. A few days later, got a phone call off my coach, and he said, Tony, you're boxing for England
Wow.
next week against USA.
Wow.
Down in London and the Hilton and Park Lane, and it's going to be on Sky Sports.
Nice. Next week.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this a wind up? You know, this is like, but it was like, wow. If
Yeah,
anything wanted to get you fired up, and to box for England, to you know, your home nation is just
it's
a
incredible,
dream.
Yeah.
So when I went down there, and you know, it was fantastic, and see David Hay again was stood in the ring parade opposite our opponents, the formidable USA. You know, and
I mean, they produce incredible boxers as well.
Exactly.
The US. I mean, yeah.
And funny enough, that who boxed on that was none other than one of the best boxers at light heavy. He won the Athens gold medal, in Athens. His name will come to me in a moment.
Yeah.
That's probably because I'm suffering from them blows that David Hay gave me. But yeah, so that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And someone told me that the guy I was boxing had beat David Hay 2 years earlier.
Right. And you just been sparring with him, yeah.
So you can imagine what I'm feeling before I go in the ring. But
yeah,
I managed to beat this guy 13-5 at the time. So
nice. Wow.
Yeah, and that was my stepping stone into representing the representing England on a continual basis.
Nice.
But not only that, when I was with David here that weekend, when I was training with him, he said, I think you could win the ABAs, which was the national championships. And long and short of it, I went on to win the ABAs and, you know, win the British and, you know, become England team captain over a few periods.
Very cool.
So it was fantastic. So that you know, sort of coming across David here bodes well for me, and it was the start of my international career in one sense.
Sure, yeah.
And then
living the dream at that point, boxing for England, and
and you know, a couple of years later, I was approached by the national coach, you know, individually, and he said, "Listen, how would you feel to go full-time boxing?"
Yeah,
I was serving my time in the British Army at the time, but we were like subcontract to represent the country, and I said, of course. He says, we think that you've got the aptitudes, you know, and the right tools to try and qualify for Athens Olympic Games.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, of course, get me signed
Next
up, ready to go.
Yeah.
Because I was a great believer that I wasn't really that talented. It was more hard work that got me through.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And I believe now, what I know now as a coach, if I knew back then as a boxer, I'd be a much better boxer, you know. And,
yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, they say hard work beats talent any day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean,
And obviously this is where my paths crossed with Amir Khan. I remember first meeting him and we were boxing. We were training at a training camp in Manchester, and he was just came back off junior tournament and a youth tournament. And he'd had just come back, won gold, won best boxer.
Yeah.
They were analysing his videos, so I sat in and watched it with him, and I shook his hand. And long one short, he came onto the senior team with us, and we forged a friendship, which we have to this day now.
Yeah. We saw him at your events at Royal Rumble. Yeah, we got a signed glove from him to say.
And just an amazing kid that had bundles of talent, but he had that desire to work hard as well.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that's what, you know, I mean, I shared that when we went to the European Championships. He boxed a kid. We thought he got robbed, you know. He didn't get beat, but he went back and beat the next kid and qualified for the Olympics. And you know, his journey just took off from then on in.
Sure, yeah.
And like I said, I haven't been to many of his bouts. He's been a good friend, and like I said, we stay in touch, you know, every other week basically.
Amazing.
And as I said, been over to Bahrain a few times, and we take him around the schools, and you know, just he's got such a story to tell, you know. And two-time world champion. Not only is he a two-time world champion, but he's a celebrity.
Yeah. Well, we met him, and our immediate sort of essence from him was he's just for how far he's gone in the world of boxing. He's so humble, and he's just wants to give so much back to the community. And coming to a small place like Bahrain. I mean, now I know, of course, he has connections like yourself here, but again, going around the schools and just he just wants to inspire the next generation.
And you know, for me, if he can, and I make him work when he comes here.
Yeah, keep him busy.
Because he always says, "Look at the colour of my hair," you know, and like, how old do you think he is? Because on the team, I was the eldest, and he was the youngest. But we had that great connection, you know, on the team, and we'd been around, and you know, I tried to keep up with him quite a bit on the running because he was such a good runner, especially when you're doing the track sessions. And we had a blast, and such a great guy. And if he can enthuse some kid to take up the gloves and, you know, come something special, then, you know, you're doing your job to try and promote the sport and to try and, you know, transform and change people's lives through the, you know, vehicle of sport.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that's Amir, and like I say, it still goes on to this day. And who did we?
Anthony Joshua was
Josh. So I first crossed paths with Josh when I was running the army team at the time. But I was I did a secondary role as being an England coach.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I got called up on that England duty, and we went across to Ireland to a place called Westport, and that's when I first met Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
this big heavyweight, and a real nice guy. Made a connection with him straight away. And you know, as a coach, I utilize my experiences I went through as a boxer.
Yeah.
And I used to watch what the coaches used to do with us, so I bring some of that. And anyway, we took him around the pads and everything like that, and he's such a great guy. Yeah. And we sort of built a friendship from then on in. Even now today, I'm sure when I first come to Bahrain, we'd give some videos, some other things, and just to try and help, you know, draw some kids in, maybe take up the gloves, whether they're coach, boxer, or an official. And like I say, when you have a sort of two-time world champion, heavyweight champion, it's great. And then obviously during my time with GB, and he turned professional after winning the gold medal. He's done a lot of stuff, you know. I can send him a message and he'll, you know, could you do a video? I've got a friend who's a best man at a wedding. Could you do a little video? And he does it, you know. And, you know,
he's another one who's super down to earth, and from what I can see anyway, and on his, you know, his connection with people on Instagram, following him myself, he's a real kind of people's champion. It was the perspective I got. And an athlete. His athleticism is insane.
And it'd be great to get him out here at the Bahrain. I've always said, because he always asks, where is it? So I had to send him a picture of the map. Says, you're in Saudi at the minute, but that's where Bahrain is. And but Josh was a great guy. And, you know, look, the boxer that we took to Tokyo Olympics, I actually got him involved with Josh. And it's me having that connection, because we went back to my old workplace, JB Boxing, to do a preparation. And
this was Dennis.
Dennis Latipov, And you know, because he was a southpaw, same as Usyk, so, you know, I got Dennis a bit of a platform there.
Nice.
You know, and he still has that connection there. You know, where he can go and train with Josh if so need be. So so again, you like to think that you're changing people's lives, you know, for the better. You know, by introducing people and this and. You know,
absolutely. Well, it's making those connections. It's that inspiration. It's and again, even to a video to a boxer in Bahrain who's maybe only just jumped in the ring for their first white collar fight. I mean, seeing that is super inspiring.
And if you probably recall, back in 29th of June 2019, we had the first event sort of under my auspices, where we called it the Battle of Bahrain. I think we had about 26 bouts on, if memory serves me right, and it was such a long day. But we had some videos there of Josh, you know, going on there, and Amir. So you know, great ambassadors for the sport. Great people, humble. You know, and just nice to, you know, you make friends for life in boxing, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sounds like it. So we do want to talk about your events, but before we do, talking about world champions. So you've worked with some recent world level talent under, I think, KHK, if I'm correct, Nalborg Christian, if I'm saying that correctly, World Youth WBO champion, and Lawrence Okolie, 2 times world champion, WBC, WBO. What's the story there?
Yeah, so both of them now under the KHK banner, where they're supported by KHK to further
Amazing.
their careers, and
And
kind
this is His Highness Sheikh Khalid
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yep.
And so so with the story with probably sort of in the lighter weight, the super middleweight, Christian Nielborg, from Hungary originally. So he came to me probably a couple of years ago, and he come to just try some training and come through his paces a little bit. Then he travelled a little bit over to the States. He was training with Evander Holyfield and
Wow.
things like that. And then his father got back in touch with me and said, Tony, he prefers you as a coach. So we looked at something and we brought him in. And because you bring these type of fighters in, it's good, for our boxers here in Bahrain.
Of course, yeah.
And someone to train with, and they become enthused. So that's how that became about. And we took Christian. Christian's a European champion, at junior level, and reached the World Championships finals, where he was beaten in the final. And then he's obviously turned his hand to professional, but you can do both.
Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah.
So we took him back to his home place in Budapest, and he fought for the WBO super middleweight world youth title.
Yeah.
And obviously put him through his paces here, trained him even alongside ISF, etc. And we took him there, and he went through 10 rounds and picked up the title.
Amazing. Wow.
So for him, we're looking to have him out again. He's been preparing here again.
And how old is he? Sorry to interrupt.
So he's just turned 19.
19. Well, okay. So he'll be in. I guess will he be in the? If that's the youth.
So he's still in professional terms.
Yep.
Still a youth.
Yeah.
I think it's up to the age of 26. I actually put him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I actually put him forward for the WBC Grand Prix, which just recently happened in Riyadh.
Yeah, sure.
But he wasn't selected. I think it might be because of his age, just turning 19.
Yeah.
You had to be, under the age of 26. And because he's only had 3 professional fights, maybe that might have played a part. Sure. But because he's so young, he's got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
So he'd be due out in probably June sometime, and
and he's building all the credentials. I mean, what an achievement. So yeah.
And we've been keeping him busy here. He even just took part in a lot of show here, and in the amateur, Olympic, because we don't call it amateur anymore. Olympic style boxing. He boxed a kid from Dubai who's the Egyptian national champion.
Okay,
so
cool.
it was a great bout between them both, and just keep them busy,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But Lawrence Okolie, our relationship goes further back to where I used to work in GB boxing.
Yeah.
So Lawrence come on board. He's got a great story, and I'm not going to go too much into it, but has been a sort of fat kid in the McDonald's, and
right.
working in there, and he got into boxing, changed his life, and he was fast tracked into GB. So he came to GB, and we struck up a friendship.
Yeah.
And he's obviously turned professional, moved out to Dubai, and then he got wind that I was out here, and then he came and trained over here for 4 months or something.
Nice.
And then just before he went with Joe Gallagher and stuff, and he's went onwards and upwards, and now moved into the heavyweight rankings. We had him out here for a month or so just last year.
Yeah.
During ISF, he's been out to one of our Dillman events as well, and I think he's due out soon in the next few weeks.
Yeah. I remember him putting on a show at the Dillman event. And then I think the inspiration on some of the Royal Guard boxers as well. They're just seeing him on the bags and yeah.
And that's it. And he'll come and train alongside the guys,
It's
so
incredible for them.
Yeah. It's fantastic to have a world champion train alongside you.
Of course,
if that doesn't get you going, then maybe you're in the sort of wrong
table tennis.
So fantastic, guys, and like you said, both their journeys are ongoing, and I think you probably look to see Lawrence Okolie out in probably July time, I would imagine, against the big household name.
Amazing.
Especially in his ranking, one of his rankings in the WBC.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, exciting times. So, question for you on this world champion level. I mean, What does it take for you to prepare boxers, at this level for the pressures and the demands of the world stage? Because I mean, I know I don't have too much boxing experience, but I've done a white collar
Yeah,
boxing match, and
yeah,
even that, I mean, until you're used to it and conditioned around not just the training but the mental aspect of getting into the ring,
yeah,
But when you get to the world stage, it must
yeah,
be, and your first time to the world
yeah.
stage, how do you deal with that as a
Well,
coach
well,
and
obviously,
athlete?
when they transition from the Olympic style boxing to professional, they go through that, and obviously, I'm doing that with Christian now
Hmm.
because it's an ongoing process. But Lawrence has done it. He's had that build up.
Yeah,
Even when I was still at GB, he was still
sure.
going
Yeah,
through
bigger
that.
crowds, bigger
Yeah,
fights, and,
and
and
it's getting used to them circumstances and environmental conditions. Because with Lawrence, the people used to say, "Oh, he was this because of his style of fighting."
yeah,
And that's why when he came to me the year before last, is to get back to basics, and he's delivered some great performances, especially in his last one. Um, it's just about you know making sure that they're happy with the environmental conditions,
hmm,
like you say, the bigger crowds. I mean, Lawrence has got experience in that. He's fought in Wembley,
sure. Wow, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, and the same thing with Chris because he's a lot younger. Is getting him used to
Hmm.
this. Where he fought in Budapest in front of a bit of a home crowd,
Yeah,
where probably he'll fight in England next with
sure.
someone that not known. So it's getting them used to and adapting to those professional
Mm,
conditions where it's a little bit more purchase on the shots. So it's a slightly it's the same thing really,
yeah.
yeah, but it's just changing it slightly and being more tactically and
Hmm.
technically aware,
Sure.
of what you're doing. But psychologically wise, I think them going out and that they know they're
Yeah.
intrinsically motivated anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's half the battle. But when 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 it gets hard,
Hmm.
because the effects of physical training
Yeah.
can affect the mind as well. When
Of
you
course.
just
Yeah.
that's why you have coaches, and that's why
Yeah.
you kind of motivate them, and you'll find different tools to motivate them. Just
Sure.
shouting maybe doesn't work.
Yeah. Different
Yeah,
cues, different
maybe just
athletes. Yeah.
walking away will probably
Sure.
has that effect to oh, he's not interested. Right,
Hmm.
well, so they try harder. So there's
Yeah. Yeah.
many
Yeah.
different ways, as to motivate athletes.
Absolutely. So, I mean, big psychological aspect, and do you think sometimes is it like dealing with the nerves? Is that a big thing for some boxers? Was maybe not the world stage because if they made it that far, then they've probably
But
defeated that demon. But what about coming up to it?
yeah, well, you say that. I can give you a good real life example of that. So when I was working with GB, they used to have another outfit which was called the British Lionhearts, which was part of
Okay.
World Series of Boxing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was basically the transition between Olympic and professional, but it was also an avenue for Olympic qualification.
Hmm.
So that's why we used to take part in it. So that was 5 rounds, but no vest. So the next best thing to professional. So I was in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, and I was with Fraser Clark, and Lawrence
Okay. Yeah.
Okolie was
Yeah.
on that bill as well,
Yeah.
actually. So we were boxing the mighty Cuba, and we were 8-0 down,
Right.
8-0 down, and Lawrence Okolie's in the ring.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back looking after Fraser Clark,
Mhm.
so I'm like kind of, you know, he's he's nervous, and he's a great friend, Fraser Clark, and good to see him back on the road, with his win just of late.
Yeah.
But dealing with him is such a big lad, and we've had such a journey together. And I thought I had like my ace card in my pocket because I could see the nerves
Yeah.
and stuff. And I thought, okay, he's got 20. And I said, come on, son, that's fine. And I just left it a bit, and I could see his mind was playing,
Mm.
tricks on him. And I said, listen, you train with a heavyweight world champion. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
AJ, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
So you spar with him all the time. I thought that would be
Yeah.
no, it
Yeah. Cross
didn't
you over.
work.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
didn't work. That had no
Yeah.
effect on him. So I just started lashing him with a towel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kept lashing him with a towel. Yeah, just get it. I stopped being a bit autocratic with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So I lashing him with a towel and
Break
just
the
kept him
moment.
busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of done the trick. He went
Sure.
in there and stopped the kid in
Nice.
2 or 3 rounds.
Amazing.
Yeah. So like you find different avenues to try and when you're dealing with the
Yeah.
nerves. So that was a classic example which I always sometimes draw upon. If I
Interesting. Yeah.
see anyone
And I guess that comes down to that relationship with that boxer,
yeah,
that
of course,
athlete,
yeah,
that
yeah,
you know, and it's
yeah,
seeing what, as you say, what triggers them in the
yeah,
right
yeah.
way.
What works
Amazing.
best for that athlete,
Yeah,
because it's an individual sport.
yeah,
You can't go in the dressing room and start as some football managers do, and
yeah. For all of
throwing
them,
football
yeah,
boots at them and saying,
it doesn't work.
so
Yeah.
brushing everyone with the same brush. It's individual sport, so you got to treat everyone individually.
Mm, absolutely, yeah,
So,
absolutely. Um, Talking about some prospects, so uh, came across by chance a young man called Jaden Price.
yeah,
Yeah, UK national champion, as I understand, and he's now Team Bahrain.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he looks like a real exciting prospect. All in all, I've got a little video of him here that we can just share. This is him on pads with his coach. 1 week from Showtime. He's got a great social media account.
but very good follower.
Yeah, but you can see why. I mean, he just moves so well. He just looks like a natural.
Yeah,
Um,
and the fact, he's just turned 14
yeah, well,
a day or two before ago, and this is a great example of long-term athlete development.
yeah,
So Jaden will be prospect for 2032.
sure.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Olympic
sure.
Games. He's just actually won gold in the Asian
Just today.
schoolboy championships just today.
Yeah. Incredible.
Earlier. And just watched them there live in Amman and Jordan. Having beat the Uzbek. Before that, he beat the Ukrainian. Before that, he beat the Kazakhstan.
Wow.
So such a fantastic talent, and identified by His Highness, and as His Highness has got such a sharp eye for talent, is quite unbelievable. He's done
Excellent.
something similar in MMA, and just fantastic. And I think can really enthuse other kids that
Yeah.
there's opportunities out here. And like I said, been training half his life, from the age of 6.
Yeah.
And that just shows, by what commitment
His
it
focus.
does,
It seemed on his account as well. I mean, he's quite a multi-talented kid in combat sports. I think he was
they
national
took him,
wrestling champion, BJJ.
bits and bobs, and I think a couple of other Bahraini kids have done the same.
Really? Yeah.
But
Amazing,
then once they identify a discipline, they best stick to one discipline.
and then stick one sport. Yeah.
Because you've heard the term like you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to his dad, and they said, like, when they realised that boxing was it, they just turned into it.
Yeah.
So and when Jaden, he'll be boxing in a few days' time in another box cup. Because it's about keeping active and
keeping him busy. Yeah.
I mean, before he went out to Jordan, we had him training in Spartan gym, and we had him sparring with a few of the guys.
Nice.
Just to finalise his preparation before going out there.
Excellent.
So fantastic talent, and he's got a huge following, and he's definitely one for the future. So you're going to see a lot of silverware come in for Bahrain now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've watched his videos. He just looks like an all-out natural. His footwork, his pad work, seeing him spar with, I think it's some Norwegian boxers. They didn't quite make a comp, but they're doing some sparring. Incredible. Yeah.
And the fact that he took part in the European Championships, schoolboy championships last year in Bosnia, and unfortunately was beaten early on, but now he's just come out, and that's what you talk about, like kind of resilience in boxers. He's obviously used that, and like that's what's motivated him to push on and maybe correct any faults that were there.
Yeah.
And he's come out and he's just won gold in Asian, which Asia is probably the toughest continent in boxing. So when you talk about when you go through the ranks up to elite boxing, and you're trying to qualify for the Olympic Games, if I'm not mistaken, Uzbekistan's been the strongest country for the last 3 Olympics.
This is GGG territory, isn't it?
Triple G is Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan, sorry. Okay, yeah. But they're known in that region for
for their boxing. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
And they have a good should we say, have a sport and rivalry, but they also come together and train together. Up in the mountains. And when you see what these young Kazakhs and Uzbeks go through, it's not too dissimilar what Jaden's went through, in all honesty. But you see these kids, and there's thousands, so you're going to get a Triple G, a Jolalov, you know, from these kids, you know.
Such a big pool of people and
Yeah.
so many people who want
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just fantastic to see, and hopefully can, you know, inspire the like you said, this new generation come through.
Yeah, amazing. Well, at 14, super excited to
Yeah.
see what's
Yeah,
to
yeah.
come. Yeah, amazing. So taking us back to your time with GB boxing, I think you're also you're an IBA coach as well.
Yeah, so it was IBA, but IBA at the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they changed its name to International Boxing Association.
Okay.
So, so you know, you see when you come through coach education. So when I was boxing, I did my level 1.
Yeah.
Then I did my level 2 just as I start finishing boxing, and then I was fast tracked into doing a level 3,
Nice.
and then level 4. That's domestically. So England would take them, and you know when you go through, there's such a big gap between level 2 and level 3. You know, there's lots of modules to go through, lots of analysing stuff, coming up with training programs, delivering practical sessions.
So the benchmark, the standards,
it's night and day, you know, between 2 and 3. Then you go into your level 4, which is basically becoming a national coach, so you can go away and lead teams for England. And then you've got your international. So when I joined GB, you know, having been a boxer there, sort of full circle for me. So went there 1-star, 2-star, and then done 3-star in Cuba.
Amazing! Wow,
so that was 2014, and then you know you put under the wrap there. I think it was 8 days long, and you're in there and you're delivering sessions in the Cuban gym. You're seeing how the Cubans box. You're running sparring sessions. Then you're going back to the hotel. Well, if we call it a hotel, and then you're writing programs and you're sat together, and I would sit with the cohorts of GB and you know utilizing my experience of running training programs anyway would you know, we would just share ideas and help one another, you know, because collaboration,
knowledge sharing, and
because you're all one there, you know, and you're all trying to achieve the same objective of passing the course. And got my 3-star, which is the highest level. Which is great, you know. It's
that's what enables you to go to the Olympics. Is that correct?
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's basically to lead a national team.
Okay.
You know, in international boxing.
Yeah.
But my time at GB, you know, that was my dream job. That's all I aspired to be.
Yeah.
You know, like back when I finished when I was still boxing, I aspired to be army coach, and then then to become GB coach, you're top of the game. And then you know the time that you're there, the system they have, it's probably the world's best performance program in the world.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, really. I think, you know, I've been to America. And a good friend of mine, Billy Walsh from Ireland, who heads up their program there. You know, the Americans done great, and but yeah, kind of on par, I would say. But you know what you see that we had in GB. You know, when you're talking about performance analysis, the medical staff, the physios, the lifestyle coaches, you know, the physiologists. You know, because at that level you're just trying to make small margins.
Yeah.
You know, we've got an altitude tent there where you're doing, you know, like kind of as a coach, 15 rounds in there with different boxers.
Yeah.
You know, but it's making sure that people hit the right weight targets, and you know, such a professional environment. And you know, it was headed up by performance that my boss at the time, Rob McCracken. You know, was Anothony Joshua's old coach.
Yeah.
And such a great setup, and the boxers that come from, you know, different parts, and you know, you'll always make connections with some stronger than others, and you know, but one thing that stands out is all of them are intrinsically motivated. Because all of them have one goal. And if you look at some of the athletes that come out, Joe Cordina, Joshua Buatsi, Josh Kelly, Anothony Joshua, like, you know, it's immense, you know, what the talent, you know, Lauren Price, you know, Pat McCormack. You know, such, you know, you're giving them their sort of GB, the program gives them their sort of apprenticeship.
Yeah, sure. And it's that A to Z, it's that A to Z care in each aspect, as you said, the physiotherapy. It's in the boxing acclimatization, and I think a similar model, whether it was pre or I guess afterwards, I think was in British cycling, where someone came in and they did the 1%. And it was everything about from how you got onto the bike, and I guess it's a similar thing. It's trying to get all those little margins The
And
psychological aspect, the
yeah,
athleticism, yeah.
and when you're there, and this is one of the great things because it's a team ethos there as well.
Mm,
It's like you're working with a group of coaches, you're working with a group of support staff, of the ones
yeah.
I just mentioned, and then you go into what's called individual athlete plans,
Okay, yeah.
IAPs, which and you analyze what that boxer needs. Is it
Mm,
more technically? Do they need to be technically better? Do their punches need to be more accurate? Do they need to do this? Do they need to be tactically more astute?
yeah.
Do they need to have more ring IQ, know where they are in the ring? Not being backed up against the ropes or whatever too much.
Sure, sure.
Need to be a bit more on the front foot. And then do they need to be that bit stronger? So
Hmm.
then that you put across to the S&C.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, we need him to be more stronger, maybe in his legs or whatever, or he's got to be more robust. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know. The psychological element. There's something missing. Looks
Mm,
at $1 million in the gym, but when it gets to the competition, something ain't
something
quite right.
changes. Yeah, yeah,
So
sure.
they need to talk through. Then the lifestyle coach comes in.
Hmm.
What's he or she doing away from the gym?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a full.
yeah.
It's a we're just a small cog in the wheel in one sense, but it's a big machine.
Big
With
machine,
many
yeah.
different cogs to enable that athlete to be the best they possibly can.
Mm,
And the ultimate mission is to medal at the Olympic Games.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you
Amazing.
look back at
It's,
Tokyo for GB, where we spent 3 months there with Dennis, is that GB's medal tally will probably never be bettered.
yeah, yeah,
6 medals.
yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
Incredible.
You know,
Yeah. Well, it
so
sounds like they have a well-oiled machine and
yeah,
yeah, doing a great
and
job.
and,
Yeah.
and that comes with investment.
Yeah.
And that's like invested by the National Sports Lottery, which has
Yeah.
made ultimate inroads for athletes to
Mm,
achieve their uh, dreams and continue their success in the professional
yeah,
ranks.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, so many great British boxers as there are with
Yeah,
American boxers. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and to be honest, it was a sad day leaving there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Sure, yeah, of
but I
course.
always remember that and I bring that experience here. And
Yeah,
and like I say, I think when we took the Royal Guard boxers over to box in England,
yeah.
I took them down there and visit. And we done a
It's
session there. So it was
fantastic,
like
yeah.
trying to like inspire our athletes here.
Well, I mean, your whole experience, you're enriching
Yeah,
now your next
yeah,
position. It's,
yeah,
none of that has been left behind. It's
yeah,
all
yeah,
being brought forward. So
yeah,
yeah, it's
exactly that.
incredible.
Yeah,
So I mean, talking about the British Army, uh, you were deployed in Northern Ireland, Bosnia, Germany. So you were in the British Army for a while. How long did you serve?
yes. Not long,
Okay.
22 and a half years.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so 22 and a half
Fantastic.
years
Yeah.
in total. But I did 2 stints, 8.5
Hmm.
years, and then followed up with the rest
Yeah.
thereafter. And so yeah, I was served in the
Well,
infantry
infantry.
initially.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously frontline soldier,
Yeah.
posted straight out to Northern Ireland. Did a spell on the boxing team, but spent around about 6.5 years in Northern Ireland
Hmm.
over the period of my career in there, uh, which was kind of daunting place at times, but a
Yeah.
good place in other times. And yeah, Germany, Bosnia, and I was kind of fortunate not to go into the war zones of Iraq and Afghanistan because
Sure. Yeah.
I was either in instructing roles where I served at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. That's how I
Yeah.
met His Highness Sheikh Khalid, and maybe I was coaching teams
Hmm.
like the Army boxing team or the Combined Services team at the time. So yeah, spent a great time in the army,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. And um, how would you say? I mean, 22 years must have shaped your discipline and your leadership style. How would you say has that had impact on the way you handle pressure in the corner for you and your athletes?
yeah, yeah. You go through the initial stages. You join when you're young. You go through
Yeah.
that there, but then I was able to box full time,
Hmm.
so that give you good avenues. The military was known to give you
Yeah.
sporting opportunities, and definitely give me the time to try and qualify for Athens
Yeah.
2004. But then when that didn't happen, I moved into the coaching role and stuff like that. But I left the military. Sorry, I left the infantry, and I had
Hmm.
to transfer into what was called the Army Physical Training Corps at the time.
Yeah.
And that was you know, but it's not an easy process. You know, you can't join it direct. You have to do a week-long selection, which was then interviews, essay writing, physical tests, you know, for a week long, putting the pressure and see if you could cope with them. And then, you know, I didn't pass the first time. I went back and tried again.
Yeah.
Because I was called a one-trick pony at the time because I only specialised in boxing. But to be a world-class athlete, you didn't have time for anything else, you know.
Sure, yeah.
So I went back and made amends, and I guess what boxing gave me that resilience to go back again. So some people didn't go back, you know. So I went back again and got through it. And then once you pass that, you have to then attend a 9-month course, which is testing elements throughout. And I think that's where you start learning more about leadership and things like that, and seeing the different men's and being put in different command appointments. And once you badge into the corps, such a prestige regiment to be part of, you know. And you know, I had some great posts, especially one at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, which was very busy but so rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
And wherever I've went, I've always managed to interject boxing into it.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
And you know, I've made some great friends along the way, and you know, it's but going back to the question about how does that, you know, being able to manage yourself within the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, there are testing times because you don't want to be on the losing side, you know.
Of course. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that comes with your preparation.
Yeah.
And that comes from the military as well, is understanding what you need to prepare.
Yeah.
Just like going to war, you need to get that start line having adequately prepared yourself, you know, and your men and your women for battle type thing, you know. So it's the same you know, along the same traits and sort of boxing. That's why boxing is such a prevalent sport in the army, you know, because what they used to say is going over that ridge, you know, back in the First and Second World Wars.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of guts, and heart.
It's that courage,
and it's just like that courage, and it's a similar traits that map across into boxing, because what you feel before stepping on the ropes, although you're just against the same person who's got 2 arms, 2 legs. It's how you can like interact with your athletes, and you know, and the other coaches, and get the boxer to believe in, you know, that they're a bit more superior to who they're facing.
Sure.
So yeah, it does have a place then in the army, and you can you can learn so much from that. And it's
a lot of similarities, I guess. And
and good stead. And not only that, but how you approach systems. Like when I went to GB, having gone through a thorough interview process to get a full-time job there.
Yeah.
Is that your military background kind of helps you, because you have structure, you have professionalism, you have this, you have that.
Yeah.
You know, your leadership style, you can swap between them. You can be autocratic when need be, or you can be more, you know, laissez-faire.
Yeah.
You know, more democratic in other times. So you can flip between the different elements.
I think that ability, I guess, as you say, to pivot again, is based on the athlete. You know, you need to change that style and be available. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, especially as I said earlier on, to treat every athlete different.
Yeah.
You know, maybe when you train them in the gym, and some of my guys will tell you, I can be pretty autocratic in the gym and much hands-on, because it's preparing them what's to come.
Yeah, sure.
And some of that has definitely paid off. Yeah, especially our recent recent visit to England.
Yeah, sure. Fantastic. No, amazing. And 22 years invested, would you do it again? I think that's the common question.
I would in a heartbeat, but probably I'd make some different decisions maybe early on. And I think, you know, the army's changed nowadays. It's not what it used to be, you know. So there's things. So if I could go through at that same time, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, because that. Yeah.
When you say it's changed, sorry, what?
Yeah, so you know, with different governments come in, you know, if you think when I first joined, it was over 120 strong, you know. But now it's now like about 75. You'd be thinking, could you actually take part in a war?
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
So and lots of things change for the right and wrong reasons. So yeah, and it's you know, everyone's got single man rooms. Everyone's kind of a loner.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's that team ethos.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you still miss that team ethos, you know, but things change for the good and
different
better.
changes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, pros and
Yeah,
cons.
yeah.
Interesting.
Standards as well.
Yeah,
I mean, when we went back to the the infantry training center, I mean, I was very shocked, and I've only been aware really from only kind of under a decade, but just shows you
yeah.
how rapid changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that again in
occur.
the style which they have to deal with people? I mean, if you're running and they need you to do something before, they would have been a
But
lot more iron fist. Now they have
yeah,
to be a bit more.
yeah,
Yeah,
the world's changed.
it's gone softer, hasn't it? I mean, for
yeah,
a lot of
softer. I
people.
mean,
Yeah.
you at the end of the day, you've gone to war, and we know wars change now. You can
Mm.
do it from a bit. It's like PlayStation era,
Yeah. Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
drones and things like that. But still, when you have to put boots on the ground. But now, with even during training, standards, values and standards have slightly changed.
Yeah.
Appearance, yeah, things like that, and anyway, that's another story, and that's up to the powers to be.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Talking about some life-threatening situations, which the military certainly can be. You did have a battle yourself with COVID-19.
The whole pandemic stayed with me because, funny enough, when we talk about the Olympic Games, well, I was with Dennis, and I was in Bulgaria at the time, Sofia, at a training camp and
Hmm.
tournament. And this was this was January 2020, and when I was there at the camp, I met some similar guys, like from a similar nation, Hong Kong,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
like a
Yeah.
developing nation like Bahrain was. And our first qualification process competition should have been held in Wuhan.
Okay. Right. Wow.
So so when I was there, I was speaking to the Hong Kong guys. I was saying, yeah, oh, you're looking forward to going there? Because we were there to prepare to go there. And they go, oh, don't you know what's happening in China? And then they were the first ones to tell me about this.
This was
This
2020 because this
illness,
was early
2020,
days.
yeah.
Yeah.
This, you know, this thing, this virus that was going around.
Yeah.
Saying, don't listen to the Chinese because they won't tell you the truth and people are dying. Really? And it was only sort of the latter ends of that camp that we're starting to hear snippets on the TV, but only rare ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it was March when everything went into lockdown. In fact, myself and Dennis and we were the first ones to be actually tested in
Sure. Yeah.
Bahrain.
Okay. Yeah. Coming back. Yeah.
Because what happened was that obviously I understood that the IOC wouldn't send thousands of people to what was now becoming the epicenter of this virus, this pandemic. And then they moved that to Oman. So when we went there, we took part in there. Dennis did a good performance, etc. And then based on that performance is why he qualified. But when we came back, we were the first ones tested.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the world went in the lockdown basically,
yeah,
didn't it?
yeah.
And that was crazy. Anyway, fast forward where we started to come back, we were training outside, etc. And then things started to open up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went to Istanbul, and it was basically it was imminent announcement coming about that Bahrain would have qualified for the Olympic Games based on Dennis' performance there.
Right. Yeah.
In Oman. And so we went there, and basically I was supposed to be there for 6 days, ended up there for 6 weeks, and I was struck down with COVID.
Wow, so it hit you hard, yeah. And I mean, in COVID, you never know with COVID. You could have someone overweight, eats terrible food, and doesn't hit them at all. And then you could have people super fit, they get a bit of COVID, and before you know it, they're really struggling, and just you could never really tell who was going to get struck by what. I had it, but this was much later on, in the years, maybe 4 or 5 years after, and I got kind of a few sniffles, but other people have had it terribly, knocked out for days, but you're in hospital.
Yeah, there's kind of, I think it was like Russian roulette how it affected people, but I remember getting there, so I went there head of the team, and because I had to be there for technical meeting, and then everyone else followed. I just remember after the second day, starting to feel a little bit dizzy. Like they only last for a few seconds. I think they call it vertigo now.
Yeah.
Well, I put it down to the lifts.
Yeah.
And maybe the elevators, or just because there was a lot to do, so I was trying to maybe the workload. That's what I put it down to, and I never really felt anything more of it. And I did something on a video, which probably come more apparent later on. But we got through the tournament. Dennis got a bronze medal. The announcement that Bahrain had made the Olympic Games was just announced. So it was a very special moment. And I'd already made plans to go to Belfast for a training camp, and then across to GB, my old workplace, before then, in the build up to Tokyo. So Dennis had got a bronze medal there. We had some of our other Bahraini boxers there. And then I was running sparring with some of the South American teams.
Yeah.
And then we did a pre-departure test, as these were the rules. And then I get a message when I was running the sparring. Me and one other tested positive. Go immediately to your rooms.
Yeah.
So in the rooms, they give us another test. Test come back positive. They said we need to go down to the second floor, isolation for 10 days. So I'm like, I need to be in Belfast.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm not really feeling any symptoms, It's like, and I thought, well, you can only control the controllables.
Yeah.
I'll get in the room. I've got a bit of work on my laptop to do. I can't move anywhere. I'll do a few, push-ups and dips on the room, couple of room circuits, and get on the room service for the food. And what can you do? Can only control. Dennis and the guys were going back to Bahrain, so I'm there on my own. And 2 days into it, I'm in the bath and I'm on the first time to my mate, and he says, "You don't sound too grand." He says, "You're right." Yeah, what's up? He could feel my
something changing,
like my breathing and this and the other. And I'm a little bit deaf, to be honest with you, due to things happening in the military and stuff. But not too deaf, but when there's background noise and that.
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, long one short, I dipped and paramedics were called to my room. Next thing, I'm being carted off to hospital.
Oh wow!
And I'm not walking too great. Normally I can bounce upstairs, even at my age.
Yeah.
And I was springing your step, but they're holding me and they're assisting me to the ambulance.
Yeah.
I just remember getting took through to some hospital. I was in this initial hospital for about 10, 11 days.
Oh wow!
And it was probably the worst experience of my life. Because I'm in this hospital. I mean, you don't mind me sharing some details about the experiences. The strange thing was that not many people spoke English.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, right, I need to be up and about. I need to get around and instead of just lying in bed feeling sorry for myself, just get up and about, get into the showers, get a wash and
get past
shave, whatever. Well, I tried that. That was my mind telling me, but my body wouldn't do it. I was shuffling to the ablutions, the shower room. And by the time I got there, I just felt so ill. I can't really describe the feeling. It was just a feeling inside that just wouldn't let your mind was telling you to do it, but the body wouldn't let you.
Yeah.
And the only thing that gave me some comfort was just the fetal position in bed. And so I would just return back to the bed and like go through there, and then all of the staff who were good as gold, the staff come in, everyone's in PPE, they can't speak English, so we're doing everything on translation. And I just went through it. Sometimes I feel okay, and sometimes I'd feel the worst thing ever.
For the psychology, though, when someone's all dressed up as well, and they're all covered, and their face completely, and they can't speak the language that you want to speak, communicate. I mean, that's not easy.
The PPE can be a bit daunting, but it wasn't that really affected me.
Okay,
I think.
Yeah.
It was people seeing to the left and right of me being put in body bags.
Wow.
That was what really done me.
Wow. Yeah.
And look, I'll be honest. Mature man, but I cried many times because I thought I was dying. I really did, and it was only the thought of wanting to see my girls again that kept me going. So that, and you kind of alone. I mean, I don't mind being alone and whatever, but when you're in a strange place, and nobody speaks English, you felt like but I can only commend my wife and obviously everyone here in Bahrain that really got me through it, because this was only this was only probably quarter of the journey where I am at this stage in this first hospital. And I just remember the doctor coming in, and I call him Dr. Death, and I don't mean that like harshly, but he came in, and because I always thought my body was wasting away, but I try to keep my mind sharp, and I think it comes with this resilience.
Yeah.
And the doctor would come in, and he would, in his minute English, say some words which were kind of encouraging, but didn't match his eyes for me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So then I said, look, I know how I'm not feeling. I know my body. And I'm watching these people getting caught away in body bags.
Wow.
And some of them were a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was a lot of stress come from Bahrain, and they got in touch with this female doctor who worked in, managed some hospitals in Istanbul.
Yeah.
And then this doctor sort of got in touch with the hospital I was in. They compared notes. And basically the message was, if you don't move him now, he won't make it.
Wow.
So that I didn't know that at the time. So the decision was made, but there had to be a proof of funds and all the rest of it. And
wow.
They blue lighted me across the city.
Yeah.
I don't know where, I can't remember much of it. And that's where I was induced into a coma.
Wow.
And that's another story. I mean, all I can remember is when I came through, or came to, I remember getting out of the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I'm in this what looked like a 7-star hotel compared to the first hospital.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting a shower for first time in about 5 weeks or something, or whatever it was. And I just looked like someone out of Belson, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I looked in the mirror, I had no backside, I had no. And I get to shower for the first time, and I was just like,
all your weight's dropped, I assume. And
I lost 15 kilos.
Wow.
15 kilos in that space of time. And but one strange thing happened, because when I got out of the shower and I dried myself, there was a wheelchair waiting for me. What they said was, I have to go back down to A&E. I said, because they had translators there in this new hospital, and they said, you're still testing positive. Well, psychologically, my pulse rate just went up, and then something I've never experienced in my life. It was like my skin felt like it was bubbling.
Wow.
My heart rate was 200 plus. I'd never seen that since I was in the army running a mile and a half.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're done with this at this point. I mean,
I was like thinking I'm going to have to go through all that process again. What I went through.
Wow.
So I was stuck in A&E for another 24 hours. And what it was, they said that I'm still testing positive because it was still in my system.
Sure.
I'm in no danger to myself or anyone else. This is what they said.
Yeah.
And then I was on the ward for another week or whatever it was, and then I was starting to eat food.
Yeah.
So I had a nutritionist to try and give me bits of food, because obviously my stomach had shrunk and things like that.
Yeah.
And because of the nature of the pandemic in Istanbul, it was crazy. But they needed the beds, and because I was no danger to myself or anyone else, even though I was still testing positive, they could put me in a hotel just outside the hospital.
Yeah.
And I would make daily trips, although I couldn't really walk properly. Make daily trips in and to the hospital for tests or whatever I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I was still eating. I mean, felt like I was eating like 10 men. In the hotel, and I was like,
fill up again. Yeah.
I mean, but the support I got from my home country as a class it now was just unbelievable.
I mean, I knew it was bad. I didn't realize it was so bad. Yeah.
No, wow. I mean, in all honesty, it took me probably a good 12 months to really recover from what I had. And I mean, the support I got even from my friends, my family, especially in the boxing world. I mean, a lot of guys who made it in boxing sent me good, best wishes, and stuff like that. And I'm on a group of all boxers from 2004, 2008, 2012 Olympic cycles. We're all on a group XGB boxing. In fact, it was me that made it up a good number of years ago, and what they did for me and sending packages out and this, that, and the other, made a men like really meant a lot.
Of course.
But what I went through there, I wouldn't really wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but the fact that I really thought I was dying, and when you're
Well,
seeing people carted off who are younger than you,
yeah,
like, I mean, the doctor, I mean, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. I took flowers in the hospital
hmm
because I wanted to give them to the doctor,
yeah, yeah,
and she said to me, like, I'm surprised you made it.
yeah, yeah.
People a
Well,
lot younger than you didn't make it.
yeah.
So
So
she
mindset,
said,
hopefully.
Congratulations,
And the doctors, yeah, the care, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I remember this woman. I tracked her down after a period of months when I
Mm.
came back to Bahrain, and I managed to track her down, who was the pivotal point in the communication.
Yeah.
And give her some flowers, and
Amazing,
you know, because I had a lot of people to thank back here, and you know, so it was like a second chance at life in one sense.
Yeah. Wow, what an experience! And you said, I mean, thank God you made it back to your family. You said 2 young girls. Is it?
Yeah.
And how old are they?
So now 12. Well, one turns 12 next month, and the other one turns 18 in July. So
amazing. Yeah.
I mean, that's just what kept me going. So seeing, like, not seeing me girls again, you know, like,
Yeah.
just
It's huge.
just I need to see them, and
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, it's a crazy situation it was, and
yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, that feeling. Yeah.
That's why sometimes, you know, everyone has the different beliefs in that. When people used to brush off as a cold or whatever, but it stays with me because I remember what the guys from Hong Kong said to me, and the fact that we should have went to Wuhan.
Yeah.
And I always believed it was something that escaped from a lab. I 100% believe that, and I believe that the stories come out about that was the case. You know, but haphazardly, but you couldn't make that up, could you?
Yeah.
Like how it affected the whole world.
Crazy experience. Yeah, I mean, something, and it affected so many people in so many different ways, different ages, different journeys of their life, and you know, on a hospital bed or not. Yeah, I mean, wow, what a crazy experience. And I think as we learned about it as we went along, like being tested positive still after you'd kind of come out the other side. Now they kind of know that, well, you might still show positive, but you're not contagious, you're not a threat. And we were sort of just learning about the impact, right?
And the funny thing was that when I came back from Istanbul, I had a transit through Dubai and then back to Bahrain, and it was a good thing in one sense because I transited through Dubai. I had to do 10 days isolation in Bahrain because UAE was a red area, was a red country or whatever it was that time. But it allowed me to get some food into me, and I remember being welcomed by Sheikh Khalid and Sheikh Nasser, and you know, it was just like unbelievable.
Yeah,
and I remember
support,
a friend of mine, a friend of mine came to drop some supplies off, you know, because I just got back to my accommodation, and he left in a hurry, and it was only like probably a month later. He says, "Tony," he said, "you scared the living daylights on me."
Yeah.
He said, "You look like a skeleton."
Yeah.
He went, "I thought you were like." Yeah, and it took me a while. I mean, people had to, when I send voice messages, which I do now, because that's what got me in there. I didn't have the energy to sort of type. Well, people had to put me on ×2 because I was speaking like a punch drunk boxer. Because that was the effects of what COVID did to you, you know. And yeah, so I mean, it was just a horrendous experience, and I'm glad one I passed. And safe to say that, you know, I made a full recovery. It took me a good year, but it's I'm probably not as fit as what I used to be. And but I'm still back training, doing little bits and bobs here, fit enough to keep the boxers active.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And do you feel those effects? I mean, some people say that they get long COVID, I guess it's called, or
that's what I thought initially, because I was saying, why do I feel tired all the time? Why do I? But that's why I say in them 12 months, because I had to have several tests thereafter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had my lungs tested of that, and then, you know, there was a thing that called, I had pulmonary hypertension, which gives you 5 years to live.
Wow,
that's what they diagnosed me with. So obviously that had a bit of effect on me, and then after more tests, it turns out that I haven't got that. That they're the same, but basically, a few months after it, I thought I only had 5 years to live.
Wow.
So if that's the case, I'm due anytime soon. but no, they said that I haven't. It's like I made a good recovery and things like that.
Yeah, good,
So,
good.
But just shows you, doesn't it? You never know what's around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, who would have guessed COVID when, I know when they first announced it, you just wouldn't have imagined we were going to experience what we did all that time. Yeah. So Tony, while we're on the personal side of things, in 2017, you were the first to reach Officer Keith Palmer in the moments after the Westminster attack. A moment few will ever forget. And for the audience, the Westminster attack in 2017, this was when a car was driven into pedestrians on a bridge, and terribly, 4 people were killed and over 50 injured. We respect this as a deeply personal chapter, and we're just grateful that you're willing to share some of this with us. How did that moment affect you? Not just emotionally, but in how you view responsibility, service, and the role that you clearly play in other people's lives.
Yeah, it was definitely an incident that one doesn't leave me. Kind of probably not intentionally, but comes back every probably other few days. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie about it. It does affect you, but it's how you kind of deal with that. I always probably batted off by saying it's not about me. It's about those people that were there severely, who got caught and who no longer with us, but were severely injured, and that stays with them from for the rest of their lives. Obviously that their memories stay with me.
Yeah.
But I guess the question you asked there is that in terms of responsibility, I don't know, I think it's just how I've been all my life, is that, and probably why I'm a coach, is that I try and help others.
Yeah.
It can be in any sort of help, whether it's pushing a car down to get the car started, to someone having an altercation, to getting involved, or someone's being beat upon and trying to stop it, or whatever it may be, and I think that's what really sort of imploded in me to get involved there.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you probably understand the story where I was there, my old coaching job. We were there just in the House of Parliament for a PR event. So we took that. We had a couple of a few boxers there tape out, and we're talking about grassroots boxing, how boxing can change people's lives, etc.
Wow.
And then we're just on our way back out. You mentioned timing. Me and my other coach were just about to come out, but I have a sweet tooth, and I know he does. And I said, "Look, Lee, there's some cakes over there. Let's get them before we go." And then when we were getting them cakes, some other kind of high clientele that were attending the meeting came and spoke to us. So that delayed us exiting the sort of House of Parliament. So anyway, by the time we get out there, we I get my phone out to try and put a little bit of social media. It's a great trip to the House of Parliament. I get told off initially because I'm in a restricted area. And then when we're allowed to, we're just about exiting the Grand Hall, which is inside the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
And there's, I got my phone back out, I'm videoing. And as I come out, there's a big fracas, but I couldn't see it. You could hear it. And you're like, everyone's attention is drawn to it. So we're still in Parliament inside what's called Carriage Gate, and the noise sort of travels, but you couldn't see it. You could just hear it, but it's moving from that direction to that because we're obscured by the fence.
Yeah.
And then it turned to Carriage Gate where they were open at the time. If you look at it now, it's like a fortress.
Yeah, sure.
But now it was wide open, and I could just see people running. So straight away, I'm thinking, wow, it's a green activist march, or something like that.
Yeah.
Little did I know, but those people are running for their lives, and then all of a sudden, the attacker come through the gates, brandishing 2 knives. That's when I've seen him attacking the policeman. Well, obviously that time, all the rest of the police were running away.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I couldn't understand why they're running away. I thought they were armed.
Yeah.
So now know that they're not.
Oh, the police weren't armed at this.
No, they weren't armed.
Wow.
I didn't know that at the time. I thought they were automatically armed, and they're running away. So I thought they just needed help. So subconsciously, I put my phone into my pocket. It's still recording.
Yeah.
And I jumped over the fence and I run towards the situation,
Mm.
and everything happened so quickly. There was I thought he was a marksman at the time, but he was a bodyguard from the Secretary of State. He ran past me
Mm.
a lot closer than what we are now, and put 3 rounds into him,
Wow.
the attacker. But just before that, as I've jumped over the fence and my feet have landed, and I remember this vividly. So as my feet have landed, one of the guys that's sort of retreating, he's going, run, run, they've got knives. And it's the word they. So I'm thinking I made the wrong decision because we're being attacked in numbers.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it was only the sole attacker.
Wow.
And that always stays with me. And I mean, because if we were being attacked in numbers, obviously probably wouldn't be having this conversation now. But
yeah,
you never know. So that was a pure fight or flight moment for me.
Yeah.
But you never know what you would do in that situation until it presents itself. Maybe I would have run away. Yeah, I don't know. But I took the step to move forward, and obviously when the attacker had 3 rounds into him, it was double tap or single tap or vice versa. I knew he was out of the equation, so I turned my attention to PC Palmer, who's by this stage collapsed to the ground, and I've run over there and I've started delivering first aid on him. And I mean, the wounds he had to his head was unbelievable, and I couldn't understand why, because my military background, you always have your chin strap done up.
Yeah.
But his helmet came off, and hence why he's been stabbed in the head. And
wow.
Then he had a wound here. So straight away, I knew the wound in his head wasn't great, but it wasn't really life-threatening for me. But I applied direct pressure to his arm, because that's where the blood was just coming from. And checked his pulse, tried to make sure he was a bit comfortable, give him words of reassurance, but straight away at the same time, shouting for someone to get help, get medic. So your military background kind of kicks in. It seems.
I was going to say, yeah.
And you kind of take handle of the situation, and because I remember his colleague got down on one knee next to me. He's going, police officer stabbed in the head. I went, get an ambulance, get a medic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's started going into shock, probably his friend, of what he's saying. Maybe me as well, but subconsciously, I don't know. But and then I'm dealing. Well, I know we're losing him, and I'm saying, hurry up. Maybe words, some cursory words to get, to try and get a move on, a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Because obviously starting to lose him, and I just see that, because we're on cobbles and there's blood coming from nowhere, and I'm and I have my rain jacket. It's only a light piece, but it's still on my arm somehow.
Yeah.
And I haven't jumped over the fence, and like I said, down on one knee, and he's on further identification. I'm looking, I'm thinking, where's this blood coming? Because I'm stopping the blood with his hand, and I just move his arm slightly, and in between his stab vest, his whole latimus dorsi is just wide open. I've never seen anything like it. Now you understand what a knife can do.
Yeah, wow.
And obviously that frenzied attack by both hands, and so the only thing I could do was use my knee to try and stem the blood and drum home sense of urgency to get medics. And it was just like kind of crazy, felt like we're there for a lifetime, but it was pretty quick. A lot of people came to assist. An MP came and stuff like that. I thought he was a doctor at the time, but it turns out he wasn't. And we tried to give it, because we were losing him. We tried to give him CPR. Obviously that didn't work. And then all of a sudden, I remember kicking some Arab paramedics' backside, like verbally. But on reflection, he was probably going through shock. It was something you'd first seen. But I thought he was the most, competent guy there, in terms of, he was the more qualified guy. Maybe he could deal with the situation better than we could. But before you knew it, the HEMS team, the Helicopter Emergency Medical Services, I think maybe they stand for, they came, and they see this stuff day in, day out, I guess, but not from a terrorist attacks point of view. And they quickly grasped the situation. Right, let's move him. We had to strip him, and I swear to God, I mean, I held his head at the time after moving his clothing. And what they did, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, they basically opened his sternum,
Wow.
took his heart out of his body to try and massage.
Wow.
And I mean, that stays with you for life. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, the whole experience. Yeah.
and then what I couldn't understand was there was another doctor dealing with a terrorist, you know,
Mm.
and you know, normally you give priority to the good guys,
Wow.
but he wasn't to known,
Right.
that's how
Yeah.
quick things
Sure.
kind of moved in and stuff like that. But I remember getting up once and walking over, just I wanted to look at him,
Mm.
like kind of person that created this event, and I came back and I just seen Keith's lungs moving. I mean, his lungs were protruding from his body and everything. It's like
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like by just I thought there were signs of positivity,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the paramedic, the Hems guy, his name was called Tony as well. He just stood up and said, "Look, I'm sorry, guys, we have to call it a day. There's other people
Mm.
on the bridge in serious need of help." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because we didn't know what had happened earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Sure.
we're, we're still
Yeah.
in the confines of Parliament. What's he talking about?
Yeah.
And then everyone just sort of broke down. Just kind of me and another guy got whisked off up into some canteen. They cleared the room.
Mm.
We're seeing the Sky News chopper on helicopter going around. I thought I was on a film somewhere. It
Yeah.
was it
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
surreal
Completely
moment.
surreal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called London Has Fallen. I thought
Mm.
because you could see all these landmarks. I was like, I didn't know what was happening, and then maybe it was the adrenaline that was going through. Probably maybe a little bit of shock. I don't know, but
Of
and I
course.
couldn't
Yeah. I mean,
understand why my phone was dead, but it was recording all that
the whole
time.
time. Wow.
And had to get charged up, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, it was unbelievable. I mean,
So surreal. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, and obviously, I'd left my team. My team had got carted
Yeah.
off, and they were wondering where I was. And I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Fraser
Wow.
Clark,
Yeah.
he's given an
It's,
interview before saying, where's Tony? Where's his coach? And it's but I guess you take these decisions at that moment in time, and it was definitely a fight or flight moment. I mean, I'd like to think I'd do the same thing again, but
yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd like to think I did the right thing. It just hurts me that, or just pains me that he didn't get through it.
Yeah.
He was one of
That's
the
a
unlucky
terrible
ones that
shame.
didn't get through it, and he was one that stepped forward and
Mm.
kind of shoved his bravery, and
Yeah.
and there was a few people there on that day, and we all still keep in touch with one another, and we go back to the memorial.
Mm-hmm.
Days, I was there recently in London, just to attend the 8th anniversary. So it's
Mm-hmm.
we build sort of friendships,
Yeah.
and you kind of help people get through it in one sense or another,
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that down to you, how you apply that in a coaching role. I mean, it's just, I guess, your decision making, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess how you map that across is when a boxer's coming under some sort of pressure or whatever, is because your number one rule as a coach is you can welfare that boxer in any
Yeah.
given situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
So
It's a deeply saddening moment, and thank you for sharing it. And you say you'd like to think you do it again, but I think also, like you said earlier, the right people in the right moment, and it's so sad that he didn't make it through. But then also it's what you guys prevented, and the ability for yourself and this bodyguard and
yeah,
these paramedics and all the people who did respond
yeah,
immediately in the moment.
yeah,
And it's the difference you've
yeah.
made there. So it's well,
But it's a funny thing, really, because it kind of relates back to the COVID thing in Istanbul.
yeah,
I didn't know this at the time or until months after, but so just before the boxing tournament took place, I took a performance analysis with me,
okay,
and because of the COVID situations, the memorial was fast approaching.
hmm
I think it was the second or third probably, and yeah, it was the third because 2020 and sorry, 2021. Anyway, whatever it was,
yeah,
and So they said you would the memorial service would be online, but if you like just leave a note. So I left two lines, and I liked what I put. So they asked me, could I do a reading for it?
Yeah.
And this would be you would do it on video. So I had to like I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
So
Of course,
I wrote a bit of a reading, a poem.
Yeah.
And I got my performance analysis to video me and put a mic on me. It's just slightly a little bit deaf. I never picked up, but when I was recording it, you could pick up my heavy breathing.
Really? Okay.
Because the microphone was here. You could pick, when they screened it, but I couldn't hear it. But it was only like the news, the media picked it up when I give this reading, for that event. So it's kind of pretty much linked
it back to you. Yeah.
So,
two surreal moments all put into one.
But I go there every year if the time permits. And like you're meeting different people. We're trying to make there's going to be a new thing because of it, which we just had a meeting at the Home Office a good few weeks ago, where it's just like Remembrance Day, just like the Martyrs' Day here. There's going to be another day there for people who's been caught up in the terrorist attacks. And you've got to remember, this was one of the first ones of that ghastly year. I mean, where you had like 2 months to the day straight after was the Manchester bombing, and then the London Bridge.
These terrible events.
So it's just, we live in a different world now.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks to people like yourself, who reacted in the moment and did what you could. So,
Thanks.
Coming back to boxing then. So, beyond medals and matches, what's your ultimate mission when you're standing in that corner, whether it's the world stage or you're back in a local club in Bahrain or the UK for that matter?
My number one objective is, or number one mission goal is the care and welfare of that boxer.
Yeah.
That's my number one. Yeah. Secondary from that is obviously to try and get them the best, but make sure they're adequately prepared beforehand. So when they're in there, giving them the right advice, that reassurance, just everything. But ultimately, the number one mission, goal, objective is the care and welfare of our boxers. Because I've had to pull boxers off out at certain times because you're looking after them. It's them. I've been there, I've seen it. I've took punches myself, but I can have that empathy with them. But some may not. Some may be brave and let them take. That's why you have referees there as well. But ultimately, it's the care and welfare of them boxers.
And that's not an easy decision to make because, as you say, there's some boxers who, in that moment, want to continue. They're in the battle. They want to fight. But I think that's also down to the progression of boxing over the years, where the rules change and they make faster, more mindful decisions for that athlete in the moment, course, which is
And it's all in different levels. Whether in the professional ranks is a bit different. Where it's allowed to go on that little bit more. It's a lot bit more feisty and tough, durable and all the rest of it. Where here, even if you look back to the ISF that Bahrain Gymnasium that we hosted in October last year, where I had a lot of athletes to look after, a lot of kids, and that's what you got to remember. So I've got a safeguarding issue, and I promised the parents that I would ultimately look after. I'd be there responsibly, and then
all the parents worry,
but when you tell them, because I've been there, some people don't understand, and you see, and I've put the towel in because I know what was coming. I know what's about to come, especially when they're going up against Ukraine or Kazakhstan. These other different, our kids done extremely well, and a lot of them, we're dealing with some schoolgirls, we're dealing with schoolboys, whatever, and you're trying to walk and talk them through the scenario, just to help them, because it's not easy. A lot of them go through that. Everyone is different. That's why you got to treat them differently. And if I've got Ahmed, age 13, going in the ring, you could take the boxing like duck to a water type thing. Where I've got someone else, Juan, who needs that bit extra reassurance, that little bit arm around them, to that to understand that I'm definitely there. My number one mission, as you say, is to look after them.
Yeah,
and I promised the parents that, and that's what I've done. And so sometimes they go, "Oh, what have you done that for?" Because we knew what was coming. And once they realise, they understand. Yeah, it's right. And now, it's fantastic, and a lot of people now starting to understand and grasp the sport.
Yeah. And I think, was it in the amateur level boxing they actually removed head guards? Am I right in saying that? Again, from a safety perspective?
Well, only at elite level. So that elite level is 19 to 40 years of age.
Sure, and that's all again to do with the power, and they've done their science.
You'll get doctors. Different doctors do little sort of case studies and all that sort of stuff, and then they'll present it to the national federations, and then they'll make the decision for the best interests of the athletes. So and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, fantastic. And talking about some of these young athletes that you're training, you've been instrumental in building the foundation of boxing in Bahrain, and that's from what it seems, from education to your recent events like the Royal Rumble, the golf Golden Gloves, and your inter-club nationals. So can you tell us a bit about these events and why are they so important to you?
Yeah, well, when I first got here, I thought, I went to one event, and I just thought that there was just probably, understanding of the rules, and there's a lot of gyms here that do different disciplines in their own. So they might do Muay Thai, they might do grappling, they might do boxing, they might, and maybe you've got one instructor that's delivering them all.
Yeah.
And when I go back to that, you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Sure.
So, and don't mean any bad by that, but it's about understanding those rules. And I've had it with some of my officials. Is that you've got to be, competent within them rules and regulations for that given sport. So, with that, I think the first thing we did was in the March 2019 deliver a coaching course. Yeah, it was our first one. 3rd of March, I think it was, over a couple of weekends, and very highly attended. And everyone got the tick in the box and certificate. And well, I can look back and see how many of them are still here now. You know, and but I think that's very. It's needed because you've got to understand what the sport's about. It's not about just getting in there, and there's so much more that goes into it. The preparation, how you teach basics, what are the principles of coaching. And you can't drum everything and sort of over 2 weekends. You got to. That's just the start of the journey. Then you're going to gain experience by taking boxers in. Then you're going to have a bit of self reflection. What to do right there? Could I have done better for that athlete? Could I have done that? Could I have trained them? Could we have done more in the gym? Could we do this? So that's a very important part is the coach education. And then you got to look at that's just the coaches. So they're back in the gyms coaching, and coaches will only do what they are comfortable with.
Sure.
And we're all like in this comfort zone, aren't we? Sometimes you have to go stretch yourself a little bit, and I don't like teaching that, but it's a fundamental part of boxing. So you're gonna have to understand it, research it, learn it, whatever. Because sometimes I see some people, and that's how people get into the sport as well. I see people, I can tell, where they watch a YouTube video, then they're going to deliver it in the gym.
Sure, yeah.
There's no problem with that. We go understand the reason why you're doing it. And because it's you're trying to better the athlete there.
Yeah, the principle, the application,
exactly that.
Teaching it and applying it. Yeah.
And it's the same with when you're governing a sport. So we've got to have a set of officials, our referee and judges. So we've got a good team of officials at the moment, and we've got 7 of them already internationally qualified.
Oh wow, amazing!
So and that's took a bit of time. Yeah. And so I think on national championships last year we run the first ever 1-star course for our referee and judges. We had some people that didn't reach the required mark, but they have to dust themselves off and go again.
Come back again,
So and it's great to see that they're still involved. Some people might have walked away, but they're still actively involved. So you build a good team there, and that's what helps us deliver these events.
Yeah.
So you've got the coaches in the gym delivering coaching. You've got the officials helping facilitate the boxing events.
Yeah.
The athletes then hopefully are inspired to. We actually got something to train for. So
Mhm.
the more events that we put on, what you'll see is a bit more growth in the sport.
Growing pool of boxers
And the reason what I do is I measure how we do with the other combat sports.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think, you know, and this is no disrespect or anything, I'd just like to think that we're in a pretty half decent place, you know, with the amount of events that we put on. And you know, I'd like to do more.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely,
I'd like to be the one that doesn't, you know, get his hands dirty so much and really, you know, builds them up and puts them on.
Yeah.
I like others
Yeah,
to take
yeah.
that mantle, yeah, and maybe be the one that just steps back and says, "Oh, yeah, that's good. Maybe do this bit better at this," you know.
Yeah.
Because what we don't want to do, we've set a high bar in the interest of the, you know, as a number one objective is the care and welfare of the boxers.
Yeah.
Because some people can think that I'm just in it for myself.
Mhm.
Well, actually, the most important people in this process are the boxers.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
those getting in, it takes a lot of guts. You don't, you know, that's why if you've done it before, it helps
Mhm.
because you can show empathy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can become just push the kids in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And
That's
it's dangerous.
And that's why I take a hugely active role, especially when it comes to our events, our domestic events, and now our recent event, the Gulf one. I take an active role in matchmaking.
Yep.
Because there's three principles that we go on matchmaking as age.
Yeah.
Hugely, you know. And there's many.
That's what
Schoolboys,
mental maturity as well,
school
isn't it? And,
girls,
yeah.
juniors, youth, and elite levels. You know, that's got to be done carefully because
Yeah.
everyone matures differently. And then you talk about weight.
Mhm.
You know, you always aim on 2 kilos either side.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to, but there's been some examples where I can't match kids up because the gap is too wide.
Yeah.
But I've had instances where I'm ready.
Yeah, they'll do it. Yeah.
Even some of the coaches
Yeah.
tell me, we will take them, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't had 6 kilos difference punching you in the mouth, have you?
Yeah.
I have.
It's courageous on the
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
But
So you know, it's not cannon fodder yet. You got to look at, and now you've got to revisit your role as a coach, maybe. So you know, I have to sort of govern and make sure that as officials and as coaches that is implemented.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we follow the rules of boxing. Because, yeah, as I said, it's not table tennis. It's and there was a young kid from Jordan 2 years ago that passed away.
Oh wow.
Maybe that we're not, you know, it was after he boxed in a competition, but and it didn't look all, but you don't know what went on beforehand in the gym.
Yeah.
There could be a build up, there could be a delay.
You never know what's.
So my ultimate focus is on the care and welfare of the athletes, the boxers. You know, and people can see that from a mile away, but I will take an active role. I'd like to pass it over.
Yeah.
But I need to stamp that and go.
Keep the standard and pass it on so it's
because if you dilute the standard,
that
then your sort of legacy or whatever kind of disappears.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some people start getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and if you nurture the kids the right way, they can become better with, you know, half a dozen bouts later.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because we have had some athletes
and build
where maybe their career's been cut short because, you know, they haven't been, you know,
it's not quite handled in the right situation, the right time.
Yeah. And it's a learning, it's a learning thing, you know. It's like,
it's quite eye-opening, really, how much is part of. I mean, with someone with your experience, so now you know, going back over what we've just spoken about and all your history and experience of people you've met, you think, okay, we'll bring Tony out. You know, he's going to sort or develop boxing in Bahrain, and you know, to someone who doesn't have their eyes open to the world of boxing, could think, oh, well, okay, that sounds pretty easy. He's got all the experience.
Yeah.
But then you're actually developing, as you say, you want to put on an event, but you need ref and judges. So unless you're going to fly them in, you need to train them.
Yeah.
You've got to build them up, but they got to have the experience and the coaches and the gyms, and it's so interconnected. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I mean, when I reflect back now, and this great thing about this sort of interview, and especially the questions you've asked me, is that when I'm reflecting now, what's answering is actually, it's been it's been a good journey so far.
Yeah,
We've got a
yeah,
good
yeah.
team of officials. We've got coaches out there. We've brought coaches in and out to help us on certain events. And we've got the boxers that we're trying to give them opportunities,
Mhm.
and there's more opportunities to come. It's great, and like you say, it's about that governance of events, making sure
Yeah.
it's safe. Because when you put on an event, it's not just putting a ring in a venue.
Yeah.
So much more that goes into it. Can we cover the costs of medical?
Yeah.
Paramedics, doctors. There's a certain element, minimal element that we need to have.
Yeah. All the way
There.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some great examples that I won't go into detail about, but we had some great examples of well, it's not exactly what we need, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Or we need to bring someone else in, type thing. So, because the ultimate role is ensuring that the safety and care and
Yeah.
welfare of the boxers is paramount.
The golf Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So a few years ago, I was thinking, what can we do? Because you see, when it's all about development, and I won't put our Bahraini boxers straight into Asian championships because the level's too high, the
Yeah.
growth. So you got to grow and you got to develop in that sort of gap. So I thought about it long hard. There's one or two tournaments we've been able to take them.
Mhm.
Obviously, we took a few of our Bahrainis to the event in Istanbul before I took ill, just to give them that experience. And you remember Ali Saeed, who boxed
course,
a
yeah.
two-time Olympian, former world champion.
Great boxer
Yeah,
as well.
but
Yeah.
I'd give him that time, and but I still looked after him.
Yeah.
So it's about that, but that's probably a bit too deep for them,
Yeah.
So then I thought about it, and I thought about, okay, what can really sort of look after our Bahraini boxers here?
Yeah.
Not just our Bahrainis, but how can we develop the region?
Because it is the region as well.
Yeah.
Similar stories across
Yeah.
Kuwait,
So,
Saudi.
so,
Yeah.
so I just had a brainstorm, like over a week or two, and I thought, come up with a tournament. I utilize my experience back in my army days,
Yeah.
putting on competitions, even GB, and like mapping it all together. And I came up what was classed as basically Triple G.
Mhm.
Triple G. That resonates with a famous boxer from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Just by chance, but actually stands for Gulf Golden Gloves.
Okay, cool.
So I came up with a concept which which would initially apply, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi, Qatar, UAE, and obviously now more recently Oman. So we've got
Excellent.
6 nations
Very
there
good. Wow.
that could potentially take part in this event.
Yeah.
And so I came up with a concept, a competition schedule, format, and kind of present it to the nations. But these things take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Because we're all developing at different points.
Sure.
I'll put my hand on my heart and can say Bahrain have probably got the best boxers in the Gulf at the moment.
Excellent.
But I would say that would probably be taken over
Yeah.
quite soon by Saudi, because of the amount of numbers they have,
Yeah.
the amount of boxing they
Big
have
country.
now,
Yeah.
and what's inspiring them from the professional sense.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at Kuwait, you might think back when we did the first dual international in the Gulf back in 2019, September the 20th it was actually, in the hotel just up the road, Bahrain versus Kuwait.
Yeah.
And then we, you're looking at UAE. We did a tournament with them, probably a little bit after that, that time, and then November, and that was Bahrain took part with UAE and Ireland, and what was called the Sovereigns
Excellent.
tournament. But what we've got to do is we've got to have something that's kind of regular.
Yeah.
So this concept came up where we do a league system and give an opportunity for each nation to showcase. So they get a turn of putting on the event.
Yeah.
And then that's your opportunity to showcase your country.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what it does is it doesn't just develop the boxers. It develops the coaches as well. Yeah. And it develops the officials.
Yeah.
And and we can build a strong cohort here. And if you just have to look at what's happening with the professional world, that's why I think with recent news that Turki Al Sheikh has took over as the Saudi boxing president, maybe it will be great for the region, not just from Saudi,
Yeah.
because we can collaborate. And I've said to everyone here in Bahrain, is collaboration is the way forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can be, and I've always said this, is that imagine, probably Triple G, where it came from. So some of my ideas was, when I was a young kid, Henry Cooper's Golden Gloves, it used to be called.
Right.
Used to be showcased on the TV. You got the USA Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
So I kind of came up with this thing, and doing it over a period of time, you do a league system.
Yeah.
So again, the coaches will develop by coming up with a bit of strategy for their boxers. Okay, you're boxing this one next. So and I'm quite happy just to share. We should be doing training camps together.
Yeah.
And imagine if you deliver this Gulf Golden Gloves on TV to the rest of the world, and the world goes, we have Arabs boxing one another on a consistent basis, and such great events.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dream of mine.
Absolutely.
If this was to come to fruition, I would have ticked off one of my main objectives in terms of a legacy, because Bahrain and Saudi are going to move forward with this year.
Yeah.
We know that obviously all have got this concept. They all understand this concept because I deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in Jeddah a couple of years ago. So people know about it.
Yeah.
It's just about actioning it.
Yeah.
And facilitating it, basically.
That's incredible. Yeah.
So and the main idea came, what could benefit our Bahraini boxers.
Sure.
And that's how it sort of grew from there to developing and looking after the whole region.
Well, when regionally we're going through such similar circumstances, if you like, I mean, it doesn't make it only makes sense to be working together. And
exactly.
As you say, this gives everybody a chance to experience and develop. And once you've got that platform, it's also an opportunity for money to then pour into it, experience from outside to pour into it. It becomes just like Saudi have done.
And it's probably a little special mention to a good friend of mine who's originally from Kazakhstan, Olaz, who's out in Oman at the moment. Boxing's not recognised officially yet in Oman.
Really? Well,
but he's out there delivering, boxing and trying to make ends, and you've probably seen some of the elements of their media from Oman. I mean, that would be great if they could be publicly recognised as well. And it's like, because you see where people are making a difference.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about in boxing or being a coach or whatever. You're trying to make a difference and transform and change people's lives through boxing. Whether it's you're trying to qualify an official to become international standard, you're trying to qualify a coach to come international standard, or you're trying to make a boxer better, or you're trying to improve their personal life, which we have done with a couple of boxers. Young Mariam promoted into the Royal Guard from the BDF.
Amazing.
Young Ali.
Yeah.
We first got hold of him from a national sports day. He lost 40 odd kilos. He's now one of our multi-medalists. We've got my job in Bakko. So you're trying to make all these different things, and it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
And collaborating all together as a Gulf, you could be a mighty nation here in the Persian Gulf. And look what's happening in the professional side.
Yeah.
Imagine what feeds the professional side is the grassroots boxing.
It's where these
Olympic style boxing.
Next boxing.
And imagine if we really, it's not about me, so came up with the idea. It's about doing it all together, collaboration.
Yeah.
Imagine delivering that, and that came bigger, better, stronger over a period of time. Not only would you have that consistently, but you would feel the professionals, you'd have more Arab boxers, fighters in the professional ranks.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we already had great terms with the Mike Tyson gym, where we took our boxers over there as a build up to Royal Rumble 3. Some fantastic opportunities.
First Mike Tyson gym outside of the US as well, isn't it? I think it might be in Saudi, in Riyadh.
And it's a famous, it's a famous gym where you get a lot of people will go there. You got Canelo in there now training.
Oh, amazing! Wow,
ready for Saturday.
And this is for the Grand Prix, which you were over there, were you?
So I was there for the Grand Prix. So Grand Prix is a different concept. So you got Canelo fighting this weekend.
Yeah.
But the Grand Prix was a different concept from, in conjunction with Turkey Al Sheikh and the WBC.
Yeah.
And so they had 4 weights: featherweight, junior light, super light, middleweight, and heavyweight.
Yeah.
So I caught the middleweights and the heavyweights. And great concept, great, getting in over 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And the scoring system that come was quite open and things like that. So it was good. So that you're just seeing great events take place.
Yeah.
So that's for the professionals. But for the Olympic style boxing,
yeah,
imagine having something like this.
Yeah,
those 5 or 6 nations take.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would have friends, family more engaged into it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it would be great to see that delivered. I think, and having delivered it to the other the confederations, they say that this could be a concept of its own kind, a developmental tournament.
Excellent. Yeah, fantastic. Well, I hope that does come off and it comes to
Well, the last one we had last week at the Dillman, that was probably a very diluted version because we had all sort of 6 nations, boxers from 6 nations participate in it.
Fantastic. So, I mean, I was going to ask you, so, a coaching course, so for young Bahrainis, or Bahrainis just in general, coaching courses, ref and judges, we've got these boxing events. Have we got some coming up? Have we got some marked out at the moment?
Yeah, so obviously at the moment, because everything eyes is on the Asian Youth Games, so a lot of work's being done for that. But we are trying to pencil elements in there because we've got boxers moving into the professional routes now as well. Busy training that.
Wow,
so we'll find a gap. But we want to empower other people to start getting involved.
Yeah.
Another one would be great to see, in the government clubs, a coach, employed there or given some time in there to get into the neighborhoods and attract.
Sure. Yeah.
Do
you have like a town's boxing club like you would in England? Yeah.
Because I have another vision as well, is that to probably have our own gym here.
Yeah.
In Bahrain. I mean, I have a lot of people like get in touch with me, especially professional fighters. Because they all go to Dubai, but Dubai has too many distractions.
Sure. Yeah. It's not a good training location, I guess. Yeah.
You're seeing people come here, professionals and amateurs, and we base them here.
Yeah.
They come and do the training. They come and do the road work in the morning. They come and do the training, and you go. There's a couple of examples. Lawrence Okolie, obviously.
Yeah.
Christian. Yeah, still here now. Even some other kids starting to come in from Azerbaijan. We even had Noura, the girl that came out from Kuwait, and now she went and won the gold medal in Saudi and won herself $1 million reals.
Wow.
Through the Saudi Games.
Yeah, fantastic.
So these are the opportunities with GIM, but the only thing probably we're missing is an accessible place where they can come. But not only that, we have a program that I put together where can bring kids in, non-contact boxing, recreational initially, but it's an award scheme where they get a certificate of each award.
Yeah.
Then you go through the stages: bronze, silver, gold.
Sure.
So there's some preliminary elements, and to get the gold, you would have to then decide whether you want to go contact. But what it does is it sets a presence in terms of long-term athlete development, where you're learning the skills and drills without getting punched.
Sure.
Non-contact.
Yeah.
But if you want to take that next step and move into gold, because everyone wants a gold medal, you would have to then get into sparring. So so there's these award packages that we can do. Not only that, boxing's fully inclusive.
Yeah.
We've even had maybe adaptive boxing, for people that are in wheelchairs and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
We're going through something like that. So there's many different things that we wanted to do.
The award scheme would be great in schools as well, where schools maybe are trying to avoid that contact, which might spill over to the playground initially. At least, though, you can be taught the motor patterns, the development of it, the mindset. Yeah.
And that's what we'd be looking to do, is either deliver it in schools or doing the after schools, straight after, because we know the kids have extra energy and it creates a bit of discipline, but a good lifestyle choices, in terms of delivering healthy eating, things like that.
Yeah, fantastic.
So that's one other aspiration we'd like to do.
That's amazing. I mean, all of these ideas sound great. So I hope if not
Yeah.
all of them, a few of them come into play, and you
Yeah.
can continue to do the great work that
Yeah.
you've been doing here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for today. We're pretty much wrapping up. I have a couple
Yeah.
more things for you though.
Right.
One is called the legacy line.
Yeah.
So we ask all of the guests who come on this show, and it's essentially words to live by. So, what would be your most important message, lesson, or quote that you would like to leave with the audience, or maybe in your case, future aspiring athletes, whether that be boxing or another discipline?
I suppose probably one for all life really
Hmm.
is that you only get out what you put in.
Yeah.
So that can be a boxer. If you really want to train, if you
Yeah.
think you can just rely on your talent, you've got to be able to put the hard work in.
Yeah.
I've had many love-hate relationships in the gym with kids, and now they're coaches,
Hmm.
and I say, Tony, you were right. Because you can't rely on talent alone.
Yeah.
So you only get out what you put in.
Sure.
Same with coaches. If you just want to, let someone else take and you step up in the ring, how can you relate to that boxer? Yeah, you got to be able to put time and effort into kids, to progress and move up. Well,
Yeah.
kind of again as an official, going through those three elements in boxing. If you don't want to study and learn, how are you going to progress?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
understand the rules,
Yeah.
regulations? Yeah. Have you practiced? What are you doing in between?
Yeah.
So that's in boxing alone.
Yeah.
But this can relate to
All sorts. Yeah.
anything in life.
Yeah. I mean, you're only going to get out of it what you put
Yeah,
in. It's
yeah.
the hard work that counts. And
It's like probably me here now. Maybe some people just thought I came here to be a coach,
Mhm.
which may be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the message I got was do the best you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I reflect back, I think I'm trying to do that. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I'm just coaching.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, where's the events coming from?
Sure.
Yeah. Where's the spectators come from?
Yeah.
I have to get out and try and sell the event. Yeah. Where's the support coming from? Where's the how you're trying to sell what you're doing? So I probably don't have to do that, but I do it because
Yeah.
I do it for the kids getting them through the ropes. If you recall back to that first event, the Battle of Bahrain,
Mm.
it was probably an event that, because some of the events are just put there and it's just,
Yeah.
very, I need them to see that this is a bit of a show. This is
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
So when they climb through them ropes, and this is why I do it. That's why I spend countless times going through the match and because what I get out of it, see them kids climb through the rim,
Mhm.
the ropes, and seeing them compete,
Yeah.
whether win or lose, just seeing that, and seeing some of the kids that do lose come back and win.
Mhm.
Getting
out of that comfort zone.
So that's the reward I get out of it.
Yeah.
And if you look back to some of the highlights that we've done, beating the British Army, we should never have done that.
Yeah.
But I knew what was coming because I put the time and effort into the
Yeah.
training. I was busy enough with ISF, but I put it because I knew what was coming. But I put it into them, and that's why we got out. It's the same with the World Combat Games in Riyadh.
Yeah.
We came top nation. Okay, be a Gulf because we try and put in as much as we can with the athletes.
Yeah, it's a very important message, and I think it's as you said earlier, it's going beyond your comfort zone sometimes, and maybe a good self-analysis tool. Like, maybe this isn't working for me, or I'm not performing in this area. What am I putting into it? Am I, you're going to get out what you put in, and really give it your all.
Yeah, and it was pretty simple, I think, but I think that's it.
No, it's
relates to all
right on the money,
all life, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. No, thank you for that. We're going to end on a quick fire question, this or that. So I'll give you two options or a context, and you can just try not to think too much. You're just going to give us an answer. So the first one is boxers. So Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather?
Muhammad Ali.
Coaching. Would you rather world-class athletes or competitive youth development?
Am I allowed to give any context on this? Or it's just a quick
It's
one?
meant to be quick.
Yeah, okay, world class.
World class athletes. Okay, we'll ask you in a sec. Mexican style boxing, so toe to toe, or American style, bit more balanced, defensive.
American style.
American. Okay. Boxing movies, Rocky or Creed?
Rocky.
Rocky. Yeah. An Olympic gold or a professional world title to achieve?
Olympic gold.
Interesting. From a perspective of training, old school grit or modern science in training?
Modern science.
Modern science. For a boxer, power or precision?
Precision.
Yeah. Would you say which is tougher, army camp or boxing camp?
Yeah.
We're talking about the boot camp style.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd say Tony's camp.
Tony's camp.
So you're a bit mix in between.
Bit of
Oh, no, it's
a
yeah.
The ring walk, coming out onto the ring, showboat or focus?
Focus.
And our last one. So, likes of Logan Paul and other influencers in boxing. Does this serve boxing, or do you think it hurts it? An opinion-based one.
I would probably say it serves it now.
Yep.
Because it's bringing a different audience.
Yeah, sure. New people.
I know you don't want any context, but I have to try and
no. That's that one. That one
deserves quite a lot.
Context,
But it's you're bringing different people to the sport.
Yeah.
A lot more attraction, so it gets behind. Some people still stuck in the old days thinking it hurts it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think at first a lot of people thought it just hurts, but you say it's attracting and it's blowing up on media like crazy. So can only be good, really. Did you want some context on world class athletes or competitive youth development? You said world class athletes.
Yeah, I think because I've had both having how you develop, and with world class, it's about fine margins.
Sure.
And where development youth, it's like kind of what we're doing, sort of done in ISF.
Yeah.
You kind of develop, like I'll tell you a story actually, because I wanted probably 3 months out. So before ISF Gymnasiad, there was a lot of work that went into it. Not like LOC, local organising committee, but also setting the competition up.
Yeah.
Actually delivering it.
Yeah, sure.
Like before in the past, I have everyone to do that. But we did it.
Yeah.
We did everything and it worked. And the whole lot. So we brought the athletes in only 3 weeks beforehand.
Okay.
I wanted them 3 months. But you have that emotional attachment from the coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I said, coaches, come and join in. Maybe you'll learn something from the events. But it never happened. But the 3 weeks out they came, but no coaches came. And you should have seen the rapid development in those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
With just centralized training.
Sure.
And you know what? The kids will never ever forget that experience. They even come to us now.
Yeah.
And that's when you've made a difference.
Yeah.
And for me, that's we're not here to. For me, it's just to change those athletes, change those boxers, give them try and change their lives a little bit.
Yeah.
Through the journey of boxing. But
super rewarding process. It sounds like so.
Yeah. Even more so here. I mean, I think. Yeah. I love my time here in Bahrain, and if you can make a difference, and it makes it even more rewarding.
Yeah.
Especially to those individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, Tony, thank you so much. It's been fantastic.
Thanks very much, Lloyd. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And before you do go, we do have just a little parting gift. Oh, it's still in plastic here, which is a pulse mug.
All right.
Coaches.
Oh, really? All right. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Amazing.
Thank you so much again, Tony. And we'll see you around soon.
Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.